The backlog is real. Whether you're playing on Nintendo, Xbox, PlayStation, or Steam. And mine has gotten out of hand. I have no self-control, and when I see a deal, I have to grab it. Come with me as I finally tackle my backlog, gaining control one game at a time.
Let me tell you, the feeling of being there, of walking the streets of the future, is really going to be breathtaking. You're breathtaking. You're all breathtaking.
I don't think there's a game in recent memory more rife with controversy than Cyberpunk 2077. Well, almost. I was extremely excited about this game leading up to its release. I had followed it since its announcement, but then my excitement dropped off, and I'm not sure why. I think it had something to do with the trailers that were coming out, and it kind of became obvious that it wouldn't be exactly as they had previously marketed it, which isn't new. But then they announced the mechanic that I was looking forward to the most, the wall climbing mechanic, would be cut. So I just wrote it off and thought maybe I'll wait and see what people think, or get it on sale. And then the game came out, and it was rough. It was a buggy mess, basically unplayable on PC, and slightly better on the consoles. My interest was piqued again when Sony removed the game from the PlayStation Store and refunded all of the digital copies that had been sold.
SIE strives to ensure a high level of customer satisfaction. Therefore, we will begin to offer a full refund for all gamers who have purchased Cyberpunk 2077 via PlayStation Store. SIE will also be removing Cyberpunk 2077 from PlayStation Store until further notice.
Now, I wanted to see what all the fuss was about, so I bought a physical copy of the game and played it on a PS4 Pro. And to be honest, I enjoyed the game despite its faults. You play V, a customizable character that has a lot of,
My Vinky was a key!
yeah. So I played a well-endowed character named V, and depending on the path you choose in the beginning, you can start the game as a corpo, nomad, or street kid. These choices really only determine what prologue you see, and each one will give you some different dialogue options throughout the game. But other than the character's backstory and life experiences, the choices don't have too much bearing on the game's story or endings. No matter which way you slice it, you end up or start as a grifter on the streets of Night City, committing petty thefts and other crimes for hire with your friend Jackie, until you get hired to infiltrate the Arasaka Corporation and retrieve a neural implant chip. This goes sideways when V witnesses Saburo Arasaka's murder at the hands of his son Yorinobu. One thing leads to another, and you eventually get haunted by the ghost of a grunged out Ted.
Wake the fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
I mean, Johnny Silverhand, a domestic terrorist with a real hatred for the Arasaka Corporation. Your minds begin to meld, and the rest of the game's main missions are spent trying to get rid of the ghost of Keanu's past and take down the corrupt Arasaka Corporation. V and Johnny are always at odds with each other, which leads to a lot of funny situations since V is the only one who can see Johnny. One thing they are aligned on, though, is revenge. Johnny hates what the Arasaka Corporation has done to him, and V wants revenge for Jackie's death. I enjoyed walking around the world of Cyberpunk. Night City is a really interesting and cool looking place to run around and terrorize civilians. You know, the ones that look all the same most of the time. Yeah, I do tend to be pretty forgiving with some of the technical issues of a game when the story really wraps me in, but when I played, the denizens of the city all look similar, and the kids were weird. But nonetheless, I enjoyed the city. There's so much character to each area of the city, and it's a lot of fun to wander around, stop crimes in progress, or commit crimes and run from the cops. When I first played this game, it did feel a little light on the population, and the risk of triggering the police wasn't very high. Most people expected a GTA style of wanted level and pursuit from the police, but that just wasn't how it was. And honestly, I don't think it's really how it is right now either. But since then, they have breathed new life into the city. One of the best parts about this game is the side quests. Not only are they a great way to see more of the city and encourage you to explore a bit more, but they can be downright entertaining and hilarious.
Honestly, truly didn't think you'd fall for that.
Okay, that's enough.
One of my favorites in the game is probably the one where you have to help figure out why all the robo-taxis are going haywire. It had some homages to the Portal games, which just made me giggle.
I'm serious. That's what it says. A horrible person. We weren't even testing for that.
Honestly, I felt most of the side quests really helped build the world, and it was always fun to see what was going on in the lives of other citizens of Night City. This is an open world, first-person action RPG. There are a ton of skill tree options and custom implants that can help you shape V into any type of playing style you prefer. If you prefer guns and shooting, there are skills for that. If you prefer stealth and hacking enemies from a distance to create distractions, you can hone your skill tree in that direction too. I did find that some of the customization options for your built-in arm weapon felt a little thin, but that was just me. There are also a ton of weapons in this game. Lots of gun options and melee weapons too. But one thing that I didn't do very much was customize V's look. I just equipped whatever I had found that had the best stats and called it a day. He did look dumb though, but since everything is from the first person perspective, it really didn't matter to me. There are also a lot of cars and motorcycle options in this game to help you get around Night City in a timely manner. You can fast travel to certain points in the city, but to be honest, the city looks so cool that I didn't mind the traveling. Is this a perfect game? No. Even now it's not. When I started my second playthrough, even after all of the updates and patches that have come out, and the fact that I'm playing it on a PS5 and not a PS4, there are still some glitches and bugs that popped up in the intro of the game. I can say, however, that the state of the game now versus when it launched is night and day. Now we have the Edge Runner Netflix series, which I hear is good, and it did bolster interest in the game after all of its controversies. And coming soon is the new Phantom Liberty DLC with Idris Elba. So there's still life in this game and more to come. It is admirable that CD Projekt Red admitted its mistakes with the game's launch and has stuck with fixing it. Honestly, if it were any other studio other than CD Projekt, the game would probably still be unplayable today. But it is also unfortunate that an honestly great and unique game's legacy is forever marred by the poor and downright unforgivable state of its launch. If you were ever interested in this game, but turned away from it after its disaster of a launch, I think now is the best time to give it a go. It's a massive game with great lore, art direction, voice acting, and gameplay. And if you crave more, you could check out the tabletop game it was based on, which I might even check out at some point. If you've made it this far, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and leave a comment down below. And if you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing. And follow me on Twitter at the Backlog Hog. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.